we're going to talk about the problems with AU Falcons if you want to use them as drift cars, because a lot of you guys out there are probably going to want to get into drift, and I feel like this information is going to be pretty helpful if you want to cop yourself an AU Falcon. I mean, these are the only cars that you can really buy now that are affordable and that drift pretty damn good. We're also going to be fixing some of the problems as well. We do have some mods, so stick around. You can watch me install a new radiator on the AU Falcon and might do a power steering cooler. That gets us really right into where the problems begin. Before we begin, quick little disclaimer, I'm going to be shit talking this car a lot. So if you're an AU Falcon enthusiast, don't worry, so am I, but there are problems. These cars aren't perfect. They're far from perfect. There's some weird little quirks I feel like everyone needs to know. So let's begin. None of the problems are further than this part of the car that way. There is nothing wrong with this part of the portion of the car. It's all to do within here. The intake, 4.0 intake. So with drifting this thing very mildly, quite a few weeks ago, the first biggest problem with this thing is that it overheats. In my experience, for some reason, the cooling systems on these things aren't entirely the best. With mild sending, this thing was overheating. Usually on the dash, the needle sits between the N and the O. It was getting all the way to the L, which is not good. Now, this might not be the AU Falcon's fault entirely. I could be wrong here. Maybe because the person who previously owned the car was only putting water in here and not actually coolant. But the whole system has rusted out. This thing's got like 380,000 kilometers on it, and the coolant overflow was full of brown liquid. But you might have to upgrade it to an alloy radiator. That's the first problem. So as well as that, there are also a weird bunch of coolant leaks. I've already had a coolant leak down at the lower radiator hose, and I've fixed that. The clamp was just not functioning properly. I have no idea why. The second spot for common leaks is right here where the thermostat is. You can see this green stuff coming out of here. I've replaced the thermostat gasket 3 times now. I guess the next thing that I got to do is sand it down, make it a nice flat surface, and probably put some silicone on there, but it's pretty annoying. We've lost all of our coolant. The next thing that we need to talk about involves the wheels and the steering. Not really the wheels, just the steering. I don't understand this, but every single Falcon, including even the newer ones like 2015 onwards, or whatever the FG is, all have the same problem, it seems, because every single power steering rack on Falcons just die. The power steering pump just dies. It's funny as well, Ford has included this little, I don't know, what do you call this, like boil over directional spiller neck? So, you know, if like the power steering fluid boils over, it's just gonna like direct over there. I have no idea. I don't know why, but it's like they knew about this problem. I don't know, maybe I'm just silly, but like why? What's going on here? I don't think I know any power steering overflow that's got any sort of directional spiller thingamajigger. So it seems like Ford knew that this was prone to happen and they didn't decide to fix it. So super strange, but you pretty much just gotta know that your power steering on full send is gonna boil over. Along with the power steering pump, the power steering rack goes as well. So over time, I'm pretty sure the steering racks are known to just die. And I think that's directly caused by the power steering pump boiling over, then you have no fluid in the system, and then the steering rack just dies. So what I'm gonna do to address this issue is install a power steering cooler. We're gonna replace it with a Mishimoto power steering cooler, or generic cooler. We're just gonna run it in the power steering, and hopefully that should fix some of the issues. What's over here? Little teeny boy. Okay, so we've got our 2 coolers now. We have the water cooler, which is the radiator, of course. And I can already see the big flaw with these things. Like, that's so thin, bro. That's like, how do I compare? Yeah, look at my thumb. See that? That's like from the ball of my thumb to the end of it. It's not very thick. So we'll see how that goes. And we've also got our power steering cooler. Now, I don't know if I'll mount this in today because it looks like it's going to be a bit of work. We're going to have to make some brackets, probably weld some brackets or something. I don't know. This is looking sick. That should definitely fix the problem we have. Stick around as well because I'm going to show you, like, these things are actually really easy to work on. So it's not too big of a problem if you do have these issues. It's actually relatively cheap to fix the problems that these cars have as drift cars. Before we start, I want to say a massive thank you to our sponsor, garagetools.com.au. Without their kit, I would not be able to do all the mods that I do at home. So go check them out, 10% off. Go get yourself some Christmas presents or a loved one, family member. RexH is the code. Dude, these kits are primo. It's actually so helpful in the garage. Okay, we've taken most of the stuff on top pretty much off now. We just need to remove this radiator pipe. Now, what's really weird about these clamps is there's like this weird little piece on each one of them. There's not one on this one, but there's that. I don't really understand why Ford do that. Just another Ford thing I won't ever understand. Bro, have a look, right? The condenser is bolted right into the radiator, so you have to take the bumper off to get to it. Luckily, the bumper's pretty easy to get to. It just involves removing two 13mm bolts just behind here, and then yeah, the bumper just comes straight off. But yeah, bro, it's so annoying. You got to take the condenser off the radiator. It's pretty shitty design. Just thought I'd have a little bit of a rant there. So it's the next day now. As you saw, we got everything all back together. Everything's ready to go. Need to put the coolant in. It was pretty easy to do everything. Not too difficult. I actually ended up getting brand new gates lines everywhere. So like for the top radiator hose, the lower one, the one that goes to the overflow, just because the ones that were currently being used were, yeah, they're just far gone. They're just covered in rust inside there. And no matter what I did, I couldn't clean them out. Like I can't really be bothered anyway. But I tried scrubbing with my hands and yeah, it just wasn't coming out. So I'm pretty sure that should be pretty good for the cooling system. I sort of wanted to do the heater core lines as well. I mean, I've got them just chilling, but I honestly can't be bothered. They're probably also caked, but yeah, man, I just can't be bothered. I just want to get this thing done. So I'm going to fill up the car with coolant now, give it a start, and it should be pretty good. And I'm also going to talk about a few other little problems with this thing. All right, let's bleed the cooling system, see if there's any leaks. Should be okay. We're in the garage too, so... So guys, the car is finally done. I just took it for a little bit of a test drive around the block. Absolutely no coolant leaks at all, which means we are good to go. Another little problem with AU Falcons are oil leaks. There's actually quite a few of them that need to be fixed at certain intervals that do happen, like you can't prevent them. The timing case leaks, it's got a timing chain, so if you're looking to buy one, just check for leaks around the timing case because it's not an easy job from the looks of it. And of course the valve cover is common, the rear main is common, which we've already replaced, but I'm still finding that there is a little oil leak somewhere, a little gremlin hiding somewhere in the intake, so I need to figure that out. But other than those real three things, that's all you really need to look at on AU Falcons. If you do plan to buy one and just keep it auto, also make sure that the automatic transmission shifts nicely because they are known to also go. Probably, I mean, you can still drift auto, but obviously you're going to probably end up T5 swapping it. So yeah, if you want to stay tuned and see this thing get a power steering cooler, I'll definitely have to do that soon because yeah, we don't want to have any problems with the power steering on track. And I'm also going to try something as well. So I've noticed, this is pretty irrelevant to what the video is, but I've I've noticed that I'm having a lack of steering return as I'm driving, and that's because we've changed up the suspension geometry. And someone said to put extra shims on the most front camber arm. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna probably take this all apart again and put the shims on there just so it's mint, but pretty happy with this. You know, we've got the new coolant hoses everywhere, which, you know, it's just nice, just very nice. You know, look at this, brand new gates as well, good brand, and no coolant leaks. I'm surprised. Yeah, this one's mint now. We got a bunch to clean up in here. Because this is a daily vlog, I'm gonna try just get this video up. And I don't know if there'll be another video tomorrow, because tomorrow in my time, I'm actually gonna go pick up the chasers. So stay tuned for that. We shall see what we shall see. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you wanna get an AU Falcon as a drift car, please, just buy one. They're sick cars. I'm surprised I'm even saying that, considering from where I've come from, which is the JDM race. Catch you guys all in the next one. Hope you had an awesome day. See you later.